This is the RedRock TCX Front Bumper, and it's available for all 2015 through 2017 F-150s. Now, you guys should be checking out the RedRock for your truck if you'd like to go with a very affordable off-road inspired bumper that will deliver things like better approach angle, burly steel construction, spots for auxiliary lighting, and a very cool Baja inspired look, all for right around that low to mid $600 price point. All right, getting into our features block here with this affordable RedRock bumper, and there are a few different things to talk about. Now, first and foremost, I just personally really dig the look of the RedRock TCX. The angular steel build results in a very aggressive yet not overstated approach that I think will be appealing to a lot of truck owners. But appearance aside, there's also a ton of functionality going on here, starting with those angled ends that we talked about earlier. And this is going to deliver what is called more approach angle off-road when compared to your factory bumper. Approach angle is basically your ability to approach an obstacle off-road without hitting a bumper end. So that certainly is useful if you do take your truck off-road frequently. You're also getting a pretty robust build here thanks to the plate steel construction and powder coat that will certainly take some abuse both on and off-road. Finally, guys, on the features list, the TCX does include 3-inch LED cube lighting for the sides or ends here, but you also have a larger opening right here in the middle for a single light bar or cubes to really increase your visibility at night or on the trail. Now, moving into construction, and the RedRock bumper will include this little bit of a skid plate here as well, embossed with the RedRock logo. I like that. Everything is going to incorporate a cold formed 5/32 plate steel build that will certainly be able to handle some abuse again, both on or off road. Now, that steel material has been given a 2-stage epoxy powder coat to keep that steel looking good for many years to come and to prevent any corrosion on that steel itself. Now, the bumper does include a little bit of wire mesh here in the center along with some portions on the ends, and they do also kick in license plate brackets as well for owners that require a front plate. Now, the TCX does not include any D-ring mounts or recovery points, but they do kick in again those 3-inch cube lights and a harness to get everything wired up pretty easily. Finally, RedRock does give you all the brackets and everything else needed for, I would say, a pretty easy yet somewhat heavy install that we'll show you more here in a bit. Moving into price point, and the RedRock TCX will land around that low to mid $600 range, which makes this very affordable in the land of off-road bumpers, especially once you start comparing this to other options from companies like ADD, Deviate, Fab4s, and others, which can cost hundreds, if not thousands more. So if you're looking to get an off-road bumper on the front of your rig, but you don't have a ton of budget to work with, the RedRock is certainly worth a look. Last but not least, let's get into our installation portion of today's video. And as I mentioned earlier, guys, strong 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter. Emphasis on the strong here, in a couple of hours or so to knock out from start to finish. Now, to give you a better idea of how this one might go down on your truck at home, let's throw it out to the shop for our detailed walkthrough and tool breakdown.
For this install, you will need various impacts, a ratchet, an extension, a 3/8 to 1/2-inch adapter, a 1/4-inch to 3/8 adapter, 5mm Allen socket, 10mm socket, 21mm socket, 16mm swivel socket, the provided Allen wrench, a 4mm Allen wrench, 10, 14, 16, and 17mm ratcheting wrenches. Also not shown here is an extra set of hands if you need it. What's up, guys? Today we're going to be doing a bumper on our F-150, but before we get started, we're going to send you to watch a quick video on how to remove your factory bumper, and we'll see you when you get back.
Now, before we touch any of the hardware, the first thing we're going to do is unplug some of our electronics. You can see the back of the driver's side fog light right here, and we're just going to press down on that tab at the top, and that should pop right out like so. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, and then we can get started with the hardware. The first thing we're going to want to remove is on the outside of each frame rail. It's an 18mm nut. You're going to need a small extension to get to this one. Now, the last couple nuts we need to get to, they're underneath this big plastic piece right here. I guess this would be where your lower grill would be, but it's really closed off. All we're gonna do is pry that away with the trim panel removal tool. Now you can see what I'm talking about a little bit better. 2 of these on either side, 21mm socket. Now with all of that out of the way, you should just be able to pull that right away from the truck.
Alrighty guys, welcome back. Now that we have our factory bumper off our truck, it's time to start assembling our new one so we can get it on. The first thing we're gonna do is, we've got it up on the table, we need to fold these wings out. Now these are held in loosely by a bolt and nut on the shipping tabs. We're just gonna unscrew those so we can fold these out and get them situated. So all I gotta do for that, these are just hand tight. Just come right in here. Once you have it off, you can fold this out and line it up like so. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. All right, so now that we have both of our bumper wings folded out, we're gonna grab our 4 16mm bolts with lock washers and flat washers. They're gonna get 2 on each side. They're gonna go down in here into the threaded inserts. So we'll get them lined up and squared up and get our hardware in, then we'll come back and tighten everything down. All right, so we'll get our bolt holes lined up, get our hardware in. Now you can maneuver this wing around to get everything lined up. Get these in hand tight. Now we're going to tighten our 2 bolts down with our 16mm swivel socket and extension on our impact. Next, we're going to tighten down our 2 pivot bolts with our 16mm wrench and a 17mm ratcheting wrench. Now once you have this side tightened up, you can do the same thing for the other side. All right, so what we're gonna do next is install our fog lights. So we need to attach our brackets first. What you wanna do before you install your bracket is grab your main mounting bolt. That's gonna slide in from the inside, just like so. And these slots are gonna hold the bolt head from rotating. And what we're gonna do is grab our 2 provided Allen head bolts. We're gonna get lock washers on those. I'm gonna slide your bracket in to the slots, and as you can see, there is a bolt hole. You want to line this up, get it through, then you can take your provided Allen head wrench, get this started. Once you get this side started, you can do the same thing for the other side, then we'll come back and snug them down. Now that we've got our bracket on, we're going to line our fog light up, line our main mounting bolt up with the tab. Now you are going to have to fiddle with this a little bit to get it in at first. You want it to go through like so. And we're going to hold that bolt, get our flat washer, our lock washer, and our nut in place. Now you can set this back or forward in the housing, however you like to sit it. I'm just going to put ours nice and square, and we'll come back and tighten this down. Now we're going to come in with our 14mm ratcheting wrench and tighten down our bolt. Now once you have this side installed, you can do the same thing for the other side. All right, so now that we have our fog lights installed, we're going to install our upper fill panel. So I've got it right here. It's going to line up with these 3 bolt holes on the top of our bumper. You want to set that to the inside. It slides right in, has some nice cutouts. And your holes should line up pretty straight. We're going to grab our provided Allen head bolts with our small flat washers that go through the top. And on the back side of those, we're going to add in our larger flat washers and our lock nuts. And once you get your first one on, you can do the same thing for the other two, and we'll come back and tighten these down. Now we're going to tighten our hardware down with our 4mm Allen wrench and a 10mm ratcheting wrench. And you can do the same thing for your other two bolts. So our next step is going to be to grab our factory bolt plates. Now we do not have the lower single bolt plates, so we're not going to be using those. Ours has been removed quite some time ago, but we do have our upper factory double bolt plates. So we're going to get those into the mounting points like so. We're going to come from the inside to the back. Then we're going to grab our retainer washers, put those on our studs. That's going to hold these plates in place for when we go to install our bumper. Now that we have this side on, we'll do the same thing for this side. Alright guys, so before we put our new bumper on, we're going to get our wiring installed for our new fog lights. Now we're not going to be able to hook into the factory fog light harness, so we've got a provided switch and harness for ours. What we're going to do first is take this switch and send it through our firewall into our cab. We're going to do that. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a grommet right here next to your brake booster. It's down in here, and what you'll need to do is just pop that to the side and push your switch through into the cab. So we'll do that now. I'm just going to feed that through a good bit. Okay. Now we're going to hook up our positive and negative terminals to our battery. The first thing you want to do is come to your positive wire. It's got an inline fuse that we're going to remove for now to keep the circuit dead while we hook everything up. We're going to pop this cover off and just pull this fuse out. And these are a bit tight out of the box, which is a good thing. Just want to work this out. And we'll set that aside for now. And we're going to hook our positive wire up first, so we're going to grab our 10mm socket, remove the nut on our stud, get this on, and place that nut back on. Careful not to drop that. Get your nut back on, then tighten that back down. Then we'll do the same thing for our negative wire. Next, we're going to take our two connectors for our fog lights and drop them down into the bumper area so we can hook them up when we install the bumper. Now, you kind of have a few options on where to go with this. You just want to make sure that it's free and clear of any hot or moving parts, and you can keep everything out of the way once you get these in. So we're going to take both of our connectors. We're going to go right next to our battery. There is a nice opening straight down underneath the vehicle. Just want to make sure this doesn't get caught on any wires or anything going down. And we'll go down and pull that through into our bumper area. All right, so now we've got our wires down through. We're gonna pull them all the way down. I wanna make sure these feed nice and smoothly. And then we'll leave these right here for now. Now we're going to install our bumper, so we're going to line up our factory bolt plates that we put onto our new bumper into the factory mounting locations on our frame horns and reuse our 21mm nuts to get that secure. Now that we have our bumper in place, we're going to loosely reinstall our factory mounting nuts. We're going to reach behind our frame horns, get these on. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. You can reach right underneath the bumper for this. It's pretty open and clear. And you can do the same thing for the other side. Now we're going to come underneath and tighten down our nuts with our 21mm socket on our ratchet. Same thing over here. Now again, doing this at home, you should also have this lower single bolt plate, which we do not have. And you want to make sure you tighten that down too, and you can do the same thing for the other side. Now we're going to plug in our connectors for our fog light. So we've got the harness coming off of our fog light and those wires that we ran through. Just going to plug those right in. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. All right, so next up is going to be our skid plate. Now before we get that on the truck, we're going to add in our license plate mounting bracket for those of you that wish to or need to run a front plate. We do have a mount for that. So we're going to line this up on our skid plate. We're going to grab our provided Allen head bolts and flat washers and get those through. And we're going to flip this up. And on the back side of that, we're going to add in our flat washers and our lock nuts. And once I get this first one on, we'll flip it over and show you. Just like so. Once we have that loosely in place, we're going to grab our provided Allen wrench, put that on, and we'll use our 10mm socket to tighten these down. Then we'll do the same thing for the other bolt. So now we're going to get our skid plate in place. So we'll line our mounting holes up with our threaded inserts, like so. And we've got our 5mm Allen socket. We're going to get our provided bolts, flat washers, and lock washers in place. So we'll get one in kind of tight, but not all the way. That'll hold it in place. And we can get the rest of our hardware in safely. You got your two outer ones. And you can tighten all these down. Now that we've got everything hooked up, we're going to reinstall our fuse into our harness. Pop that right back into place. Make sure it's fully seated. And you want to reinstall that cap because it is waterproof or water resistant. And once you've got that in place, as far as the rest of your wiring goes, you can secure this up out of the way however you choose to. You can tuck it, use wire ties, however you want to do it, make it your own. You just, again, want to make sure that it's out of the way of any hot or moving parts because you don't want to damage the vehicle or the wiring in the process. All right, so now we've come inside our cab to mount our switch. Now when you come in here, it should be pretty much in line with your park and brake pedal, so you can just reach back. You should be able to grab that and pull it out to where you want to mount it. Now you have free rein on where to mount this. Your switch does have an adhesive backing, so we'll get that cover off the adhesive backing. We're just going to place ours right here under our pedal adjuster, just like so. And again, same with the rest of your wiring. You want to make sure this does not interfere with the operation of any of your pedals. And indicates red for off, green for on. It's easy access. Alrighty folks, that about wraps up our review and install of our RedRock TCX HD Front Bumper for your 15 to 17 F-150 excluding the Raptor. Thanks for watching, and as always, for everything F-150, keep it right here at AmericanTrucks.com.